the chain of transactions through the various wallets, and that's all been a very nice academic exercise. But what was the purpose of it? When we undertake these transaction tracing exercises, what we're essentially looking for is an endpoint. And that endpoint is either to find out information on the owner of the wallet or potential targets for recovery. You know, when it comes to us as disputes and investigations professionals, that's why we're trying to do it. So you can follow those Bitcoin transactions and you're going to get to an endpoint, which is a movement into the real world, as it were, back into fiat currency, back into some other asset. Now, if your transaction tracing takes you through to an exchange, that's a really good outcome. That's what we look for when we're performing this, because once we find ourselves with a flow of funds that ends up at an exchange, we're able to approach that exchange with a Norwich Pharmacal order or some other information order or a suspicious transaction report. And if that exchange is a reputable one, and as many of the exchanges are starting to become more professional, many of them are starting to, I guess, pay more attention to these types of information orders and demands, we would hopefully ask two things from them. We'd ask, one, can we have information on the individual that's associated with this transaction flows? And two, if there are transactions or funds associated with this sat with your exchange currently, please can you prevent your dealing with them, because they are or are suspected to be proceeds of crime. They are a suspicious transaction. Now, as I say, many of the exchanges are upping the number of compliance professionals that they are hiring, the number of in-house counsel, and are very much looking to be much more compliant and play by the rules of the regulators. Gone are the days where everything is just a bit of a startup run out of a garage. They are proper major organizations with a real stake in the financial system. So we're looking then, if we can get to a cryptocurrency exchange, we can potentially get information on the individual, and we can potentially recover assets. Now, if we follow that transaction and we actually end up just seeing it land in another wallet, that's less good. It's still helpful, but it's less good than it being in an exchange. So if we just see, let's say we followed 10 Bitcoins from the wallet of the victim all the way through to 10 wallets down the line, we find another wallet, we can see that that's where that value is currently sits. And not dissimilar to the Ronin hack I've just showed you, we can see exactly where those Bitcoins are. Now, what has been happening in certain jurisdictions is that there have been injunctions applied for, and in some cases awarded, against the wallet address itself rather than the individual, and that's what we necessarily seek here. But as these wallets and transactions remain pseudo-anonymous, we will need to undertake further investigation to try and identify the individual associated with it.